Ciao ragazzi, thank you so much for tuning into Football Worldwide, where we are talking on the Serie A Roundtable, and it's an absolute pleasure to be joined by the Aussie Calcio Panel once again. So in order from as I can see them, ciao to my friend Francesco coming in representing Juventus in this episode. How you doing? Thanks for coming back.
Anth, how you going, mate? Thanks for the welcome again, mate. Good to be back. Happy New Year to everybody.
Absolutely, man. Adam coming us to Stadio Olimpico. It's looking good, man. It's looking popping over there.
It's looking fuller here in this photo than it did on the weekend, unfortunately. But happy New Year to all our viewers, and good to be back discussing Serie A.
Absolutely. And Zioamo, it's really nice to see you and to hear from you again, sir. How are you?
I'm all right, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for having, and it's good to speak with some people. I've been in isolation for almost a week now, so
yeah, it's been a while since we did.
I love the fact that I can talk with someone. Not just my dog.
It's been a while since we did a roundtable. There's a lot to cover in general. We're going to keep it strictly Serie A, except for my shameless opening 30 seconds here. It's nice to get the trophy on the board. It's nice to be able to just say that our new manager has something tangible to move forward. And I'm just going to go to my friend Francesco. What did you think of the game, man? Not a good way to lose in the last second, but it is what it is.
Look, I think pre-match I was expecting a nice 4-0 win for Inter. First half, first 20 minutes could have been 2-3-0. Just going to put it away. But then Juve really settled. I think, look, we didn't deserve anything from the match. Don't get me wrong. Inter deserved the win, 100%. But I feel Juve as a team were pretty compact, trying very hard to get a result. Allegri was just screaming the whole match at anyone that was in front of him. Rightly so, Inter just dominated. But I like what I see from Juve. I just feel, it's going to be, like I said a few weeks ago in the last episode, it's one of those seasons. It's just going to be a drag to the finish. There's not enough in this team. Hopefully, we can snag a signing or two in this window, but I just highly doubt it. There's not going to be much. Yeah. So congratulations to Inter. Dominated, should have been more than what it was. And now Alexandro, mate, everyone's saying it. What the hell is he thinking? Just head it out. Get rid of it.
That ball has to go. Has to just clearance over the crowd,
You're going to head it, chest it to Chiellini, who's just going to pump it out anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, hey, Ciccio, Bonucci just knocked on your door, mate. He's waiting to come in.
He's still waiting for the sun. Too good Inter.
Thanks, mate. Moving on, Amo, you have the floor, my friend. I'm really impressed with this guy's form. Mexican Chucky Lozano, he's just everywhere, man. He's having a really, really good season, a good investment. Your thoughts on your win this morning? 2-0 away. I'll just say on a sidetrack, that's 5 and 6 losses for Bologna. So they're not really enjoying the turn of the season at the moment. But 3 points for you and Spalletti.
Listen, I'm quite happy for the result. We needed a second victory. We haven't had 2 back-to-back victory in a while. You could tell that the players are coming back. We're only missing now Koulibaly, Anguissa, and Onas. But Onas is not a starting player, but Koulibaly and Anguissa are still a big miss. I have to say, I was expecting to have this downfall. Everybody expect Napoli to have this downfall the whole month of January for the Africa Cup. Unfortunately, we had the downfall for over 2 months due to a lots of injury and COVID and long things. But looking at the ladder right now, we still managed to be there with 2 points from second spot. So race is on, and I can only see Napoli improving now, because think about lots of these players, including Lozano. They just come back from COVID or from injury. I think lots of people criticize Napoli against Fiorentina during the Italian Cup for the loss. I actually think, and I think I mentioned to you guys, I mentioned to my social media, that Spalletti did exactly what to do it. He took the players with no training, players that just come back from negative tests from COVID or players from injury, and just chuck them in and give them game time in preparation for the league. At the end of the day, we've been playing with 12, 13 players for the last 2 months, every 3 days. So you have to leave something on the ground. And to be honest, not qualify for Champions League this year would be a disaster for Napoli. We've been out for 2 seasons, so I'm all for it to sacrifice the Europa League and the Italian Cup just to concentrate to the league, because it's what it is. If we're speaking about at the start of the season with Napoli depth, I would never expect it to lose 8 or 9 players all at once. No one expected. So this time of the year, you have to make a decision. You have to take the risk, and you have to do that. So think about yesterday, Zielinski. There is a picture that is viral on the net. Yesterday morning, Zielinski was in Napoli at the train station, getting the train alone to go play with the team because a few hours before he was negative from COVID. So that tells you that we are quite disparate with numbers. But it's good to see that the players are back. I think Lobkata in the middle has been a great surprise. I think that also Juan Jesus is having a very good a couple of good games. Very happy with Lozano, even if I think Lozano, he scored 2 goals, but before scoring that goal, he missed a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He always does. And it's also quite throws his body to get the ball. It's a great effort. He goes back, but he throws his body into the place too often. He is always risking to get injury or to get a card. And you can see against Fiorentina, he did in Italian Cup. But overall, quite happy with the result and quite happy that the players are coming back. I can see only us improving from that. And I was reading before, even all the trouble we went through, there's only one team that did better than Napoli in all Europe, counting the clean sheet, which is Manchester City. After Manchester City in all Europe, Napoli is the team with the most clean sheet ever, which surprised me because we're coming from 2 months of disaster.
Yeah,
so
I enjoyed the game.
Back.
I enjoyed the game, and I really enjoyed this goal, man. Take us through this goal, the one that, the ball was from one end to the other in the space of 20 seconds. Each player with a 2-touch. How important was Zielinski in the build-up here?
I was telling you guys outside the scene that Zielinski done exactly what he's called in terms of an analysis of football. What's it called? The second serve. Everybody concentrate and see who scored the goal and who does the serve. But the second serve, it's very important in football. It's the pass that lead to the pass to score the goal. And Zielinski with outside his foot, first touch behind the defense line, it was a clinical ball, and Fabian just had to tap it in. And Lozano was great. In other games, Lozano probably had blasted the ball. Instead, he took a touch and then tap it in. That was beautiful goal. The only thing I did not like it, but also you have to give credit to Bologna and also to the fact that Napoli started, that after this goal, the last 10, 15 minutes, we dropped the defense line a little bit. And you could tell because we put Petagna in and start kicking long ball for Petagna for Osimhen. But overall, I'm quite happy with the result and quite happy with the return of the players.
Yeah, nice one. Gentlemen, any questions or any comments on the Napoli game before we move on to Juventus?
I've got a question for Armando about the Mertens situation. Not necessarily about the game, just moving forward. Obviously not for this Calcio Mercato window, but we've been reading reports over the last few weeks that Napoli potentially may not renew his contract. I just want to know your thoughts on that. Anything that you've heard from the ultras in Napoli about this, because I can't, as much as we know that he's getting on in age, I think that he still provides a lot of value for Napoli and for Serie A. And I'd hate to, as much as he pains us when he plays against us, I wouldn't want to lose him, not just yet anyway, because I love watching him. What's going on there?
Listen, I think it's all speculation. Mertens, Napoli's got a clause in his contract that if they want to keep him, he stays another year. And also, I think he's got an offer to become a manager. I think right now, all the players without contract, there will be a lot of speculation in Serie A because newspaper needs to sell. With the Mertens and Napoli, I think. Oh, Adam is gone. Adam is come back. With the Mertens and Napoli, I think the most important thing is you guys are still there.
Yeah.
Hello?
Maybe
Hello?
we've lost Amo. No, we're here. We're here, mate.
Can you hear us?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you,
You
man.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you move. With the Mertens, I think everything depends. You guys are back?
Yeah,
we can
bro,
hear you.
We're here.
We never left.
I lost you for a second. No one was moving. Sorry.
We'll have to edit
Yeah.
this.
Okay, so I think with Mertens, all depends if we qualify to Champions League or not. And with Mertens, it's easy. He lives in Napoli. He loves Napoli. He calls his kids gonna be born in Napoli. With Mertens, it will take a second between him and De Laurentiis to.
Whoop.
He's having some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
That's all good. We'll move on in terms of talking about contracts. Something else that relies on making the Champions League, and it's good that we've got Francesco on for this particular episode because things are looking a little bleak with this situation, man. What's going on with the goal that he scored, the stare? Did Sky Sports actually come out yesterday and say that the contract is actually being rescinded now, and if Dybala can't meet them halfway, it's pretty much walk for free? What's the situation here? And of course, talk about your win against Udinese. You still got 3 points.
Yeah, we got the 3 points. This bloke here, let's put that finger just down, Dybala. That's what I've got for you, mate. I'm wearing a shirt today, which is the Nedved on the back. This is for support the footy of Checa. For what he did, mate, that's just not on for a Capitano. He's got it, the number 10 as well. This guy he's not Juve material for me. Just let him go.
Just let him go, yeah?
I've seen enough. Yeah, if he wants 10 million or whatever he's asking, see you later. He's not worth half that. I'm sorry, but he's not.
Send him to play. Hey, send him to play in Toronto with Insigne. They're exactly the same.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. This guy here is talent. He's proper talent, but he plays half a season, if that, sometimes on form, and he's injured for the rest of it. He's just a glass man. He's not worthy of another 4-year contract at 10 million. Forget about it.
For people that don't know the ins and outs of what's happening, what's the context behind that stare on Nedved? Where's the falling out happened?
Well, it's not just at Nedved, but it's towards the directors. And we could see from the images that Nedved was pretty angry at what had happened. He couldn't believe his eyes. So basically, they had an offer given to him a few months ago or late last year, and then it's for some reason Dybala or the club had decided not to go ahead with it, and now the club want to change the terms of that deal. And Dybala's and his agent rightly say, as you would be, you're disappointed. You thought there was an offer there, and now the club want to change it. But things have changed. COVID has really taken a hit on Juventus. Ronaldo deals really killed us financially. So the club are looking at the balance sheet, and this guy, he said, "Look, you're not worth that much money, mate. You got to look at it again." So if he wants to take a deal at a lesser sum, at less pay, fair enough. Give him another chance, another two years maybe. But for that money that he wants, I don't think he's worth it. Let's reinvest the money in a midfielder or another defender, even a striker that we actually need. But this guy, he's not doing it for me.
Because what's he on at the moment? About 7?
I think it's around that much. He's around the top 5 anyway of the highest paid in the club, I believe. But look, I can understand his side as well. Like, he's a guy that's been at the club for a long time. He loves the club, but just the recent actions and his just behaviour, I don't think he wants to be there much longer if they're not going to come to the table for him. And if that's the case, let him go. But I just hope he doesn't go to Inter. I know he'd be really good. Anywhere else that he goes, he's going to want to show Juventus what they're missing. But I just feel that, in the current climate, he's not going to stay up. I can see him going.
Yeah, you still did bag the 3 points against Udinese, an important 3 points going forward. It's still looking pretty congested. Overall, the goal's still pretty much top 4. You think Allegri will get it over the line?
Look, I think if you look at recent form, we've lost 1 game in the last 10, and that loss was against Inter in the Supercoppa at the last second of extra time. So the signs are good, but I feel now with this Dybala situation and seeing how angry Allegri is at this stage of the season, he's very, very agitated at the team. I feel like we're just going to start to drop off a bit. If we can stay in the top 4 for another month or 2, we can really fight for it. But I'm not liking.
Cicc,
I don't know.
If you look at the ladder right now, you give a lot of credit to their victory against Roma. They made a huge difference. Look at the ladder. If you didn't win that game, there would be a completely different scenario. I think Juventus is there fighting for the top 4 spot.
We're there. 100% we're there. But I feel that we're just a step below Atalanta, Napoli, Inter.
But because of the situation with the injury and COVID, the touching wood is not going to be Napoli, but another team might face 9-10 injury, long terms.
Yeah.
And with such a congested season, it takes 1 month, it's 12 games. it's 36 points.
Unfortunately, I don't think there's enough from the Juventus team to cover the first team because the
I
bench
agree.
is
On that,
terrible.
I agree.
Yeah,
it's thin.
Yeah.
We've started to get into the part of the season where managers get sacked for fun. It was the win for Torino, 2-1 away from home to Sampdoria. That was the straw that broke the Diversa back. They've had a pretty crap year this season, Sampdoria. And, I saw my friend Vitor Doria said it. Our friend Vitor Doria said it on Twitter today that, he agrees with the sacking because the pieces have been there to have a decent season. And a manager like Claudio Ranieri got it out of those players last season. So unfortunately, the manager just has to wear the blame for this one because he hasn't gotten the pieces right all season. So another domino falls in Serie A with Diversa being sacked. And guess who's back? Back again. It's none other than Gianpaolo. Gianpaolo is back at Sampdoria. So we'll see how long that lasts for as well. But I'm not holding my breath. Any comments from that, gentlemen?
Boys, I just want to say, Juve's got Sampdoria now in the Coppa Italia. if Allegri doesn't play, Caio Jorge and Sul, the Argentinian kid who's again been caught up for the national team, what's he doing? Seriously, give the other guys a chance. Give him a chance. Caio Jorge, the guy is dying to come on. Give him a shot. Moise Kean and Morata, they're just not doing it. They've had chances after chances. Morata's probably the best striker we've got. Give Caio Jorge a go.
I agree, man. I definitely agree. This was a really good game as well. Spoils shared for Venezia and Empoli. Such a good game of football to watch. Very entertaining stuff. But this is the true story here in the 72nd or 78th minute. 72nd minute. Nani, former Manchester United and Lazio. A lot of people forget that as well, that he did have a spell in Serie A for Lazio as well. Came on and had, a ridiculous amount of touches. Very involved and contributed with an assist as well. He just looks like a man who, after leaving European football to go overseas, is just really happy to be back in a beautiful city again playing football. So that's a nice little story. Keep your eye on that one. Fiorentina banging in goals for absolute fun. Genoa, just a sad sack of the season. And Andrei Shevchenko, I feel like it was just yesterday we all sat here, I think it was me, Adam Zil, and Anth, and we're like, surely Shevchenko goes the season. Surely there's not going to be a turnaround at Genoa. Just like that. I don't even think he got a single win. Armo, what are you saying?
Two things. First of all, remember yesterday, Vlahovic missed a penalty. I begged him on the group, and a few minutes after, Fiorentina scored 6 goals. So I should be prized for Fiorentina fans to do so. But guys, Shevchenko is funny. I was reading the guy coached for 2 months. All right, he's got 2 years contract. He's gonna get paid $5 million, €5 million just to coach for 2 months. He backed the money. Genoa, Sampdoria. You know what? I'm happy
it's a sad city.
Sassuolo, Empoli, because those teams are investing in a proper coach and proper young players, and it's time for clubs like Genova, Cagliari, Sampdoria to pay the bill. They're being too much of they're the one that always changes coach. They're the one that always selling all the players. Look at Genoa every year change the whole formation, man. They done only bad to Serie A in the last few years. They done nothing good to Serie A, and I feel sorry because Genoa. It's an old gemellaggio for Napoli. I got lots of friends that go for Genoa. We got Vito, they go for Sampdoria. But man, those presidents, those clubs, it's just been bad in Serie A for the last 2 or 3 years. So if they go and they get replaced by a team like Venezia, Sassuolo, Empoli, where there is a group of management behind that works or their potential, they go find good players. Look at Sassuolo. Sassuolo every year they change. They sell their main players. They're always there. Empoli, even the same Fiorentina is doing great. So they have to go. They have to go. It's time to clean up Serie A, guys. These people are not doing good to Serie A. Those presidents are not doing anything good to us.
No, and Genoa's been treading water for a few years. I mean, they've been escaping relegation on the second last or last match day for the last 2 or 3 years. So I think their time might be up. I couldn't believe when I saw that he was sacked. I thought that, to try and create some stability there and build, that they're going to keep him. But yeah, we've seen it many times before, so I shouldn't be surprised. But I don't know where they go from here. And unfortunately, I think it's going to be a Serie B for them.
Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like
For
it.
sure.
Another good game. Lots of goals. Lots of players performed well in this one as well. Barak scored a hat-trick as Verona and Igor Tudor get 3 points on the road against Sassuolo. Two teams very close together in the middle of the table. The ladder is shaping up very similar to what we all pretty much predicted at the start of the season, which has been nice to see. But a decent game. I'm going to go over to Francesco first, man. What did you make of this one?
Good game, very good game. Two of the impressive sides of the season, especially Verona, who seem to have hit good form again, and Barak, one of my favourites of Serie A. I love this guy. I think he'd be picked up for a good 15 million. I reckon you could grab him, and he'd improve any team he goes to. He's much better than the bubby that we got like Rabiot and Artur. This guy would slot straight into the Juve side and do a good job. Him and McKennie up front behind the striker, I reckon they could do better than what we got. I like him. He played well, and credit to Tudor. He's got him working very well with the strikers. Hopefully he can make a jump. He's only 27 still, so he can still improve and go to a bigger club. Hopefully, once someone in Serie A can snap him up and he doesn't go off to Germany or England like we usually see.
Yeah, high intensity football in this one. Scamacca with another good finish as well. Armando, any comments on the Sassuolo Verona fixture?
No, once again, see, I forgot to mention Verona before. All this team, even Verona at the start, we didn't give them any credit, but they got some manager behind. They know how to work. They know that there is no money, so they think outside the square. So I was very entertaining. I watched the first half, very entertaining. There was a lots of good game this weekend to watch.
Yeah, it was high quality culture this weekend. Adam, what about you?
Yeah, I'm loving watching the tables. The teams in that mid section of the table play against each other. They're all. It doesn't matter who it is. They're always entertaining fixtures, and this was one that I quite enjoyed. We're talking about these players and where they might move next. You've got Fratesi, Scamacca, Barak, Raspadori. These types of players that are pretty much set now to make their next move. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next in the summer mercado with these players. Just a quick fun fact to finish off, boys. For the old school supporters of Serie A, Barak is the only player who wears Pantofoli d'Oro boots. The oldest sort of style boots are produced in Italy. So for that reason alone, I've got a lot of respect for this man.
Nice one. The biggest talking point, I guess, and a big shout out to our Milanisti friends who none of them could make it on tonight. But this one's frustrating for everybody. Even as an Inter fan watching my closest mathematical rival to the title, I'm sitting there going, this can't go on, man. This sort of behavior and officiating, it's a really bad call. And like I said to Amor just before we went live, there's not even a Spezia player next to Messias, which means the referee's eyes have to be somewhere else. For me personally, when I rewatch it back, it's Ibrahimovic and Giroud claiming for a free kick the split second he goes down, and the referee's paying more attention to their reaction. And as a reflex, he blows the whistle. I'm not saying it's right, but it's the only sort of justification that I can get from it. Overall, Milan were not good today, though. They were decent in the first half. They missed a penalty, and they were really horrible in the second half and allowed Spezia to cross it in left, right, and center. Eventually, one of those goals equated to an equalizer. And then when the goal wasn't given for Milan, there was no way anybody was going to defend after that. And you saw it. They were all walking back. And Spezia, their player that should have been sent off, walked it into the back of the net. Away points for Spezia, home loss for Milan. I'm just going to go top to bottom. Cicc, what did you make of all of this whole game and decision?
Watch the second half, and definitely Spezia deserves something from it. If you take away what happened in the first half, Milan, I think, were pretty poor. But that decision, I couldn't believe what I was watching. I didn't notice what you said about Ibra asking for a free kick, but it happened so quickly. I think I don't even know if it was in my eyes. I didn't see that as a foul. I feel like the Spezia guy hits the ball, which then goes towards Messias, and he knocks it in. It happened that quickly. He could have just allowed play to continue, but like you said, he was influenced by the Milan players. So credit to Spezia, and Thiago Motta seems to be turning around a little bit, but and he was close to being sacked. One of your old boys there, Anth. But yeah, I like what I'm seeing, and I don't feel like, again, like I said a few months ago, this Milan side, when they're tested, when their depth is tested, this is what you see. I don't feel they're gonna fight for the Scudetto. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the goalkeeper came out after the game and said he's an Inter fan as well, and he played the best game of his career. I forget what his name is, Padolino. So you got him and Thiago Motta basically denying Milan everything that they needed in this game, man. It's crazy. Adam, over to you, man. What do you make of all of this?
Yeah, look, I think the Milanese that we, in our group chat, Vince, Carlos, and Anth, all conceded that they were really poor in this game. And having watched them myself, obviously we know that Milan are a lot better than what they showed in this game. But it's a slip up again for them to try and keep pace with Inter. So it's an uphill battle for them now. Just on the decision though, I've had a whinge a lot of times on the show about Roma receiving the wrong end of the stick on these types of decisions. And not that I'm glad that it's happened to someone else, but I think it shows that the Referees Association, not just in Italy but across the board, we need to have a defined ruling on what actually happens when a foul is committed and then the next phase of play, because we can't have some referees allowing the advantage and then in the next game some referees not. So can we have some consistency is all we're asking for here, because the fans are feeling it. The fans are feeling it with offsides. They're feeling it with exactly what we saw in the Milan game. And until we have the referees actually know exactly what they need to do. And I know this referee particularly attributed to human error. He blew. He was trigger happy, basically. He blew before he knew he was supposed to. But if the refs it's drummed into them exactly what they need to do at any point in time, especially in the box or near the box, then that's what we need. I mean, we can't keep going on like this. And VAR, unfortunately, has been the reason for it. I'm not against VAR, but we need to find some balance here because there's so much inconsistency from game to game.
Yeah. Armando, you have the last say on this incident.
Yeah,
And Milan
first of
lost.
all, I can't believe how quickly, if you rewatch the replay, by the time the play is done, the referee blew the whistle. He must have the whistle in his mouth because it was so. If he had a whistle in his hand, by the time he moves and put to his mouth, the goal would be allowed. Maybe Milan was very unlucky that because it was so fast. I never heard a whistle after a free kick be so fast. Yeah. And that's shocking. To top it up what Adam said, guys, unfortunately, I'm against modern football, that there will be only one way to get rid of this. Because until there will be a human making a decision, they'll be subject to what he's feeling. There will always be calls that people will be debate. Referee needs to be removed from the pitch. We got the technology now. For the offside, you don't need to do all this line. Just put chip on the ball and on the soccer boots. Calculate only the legs and the boots for offside. It doesn't matter if I go my shoulder, my head while I'm sprinting. Utilize only the foot. Stuff like this. With VR, technology, microchip, laser, anything, you don't need a referee on the pitch anymore. It will turn like FIFA. It will turn like a video game. It will be the same call for everybody. The sooner it will be better, because right now we have a lots of referee that are very low quality. The game is very fast for one man to follow, guys. Imagine to be a referee. I do referee a lot for the schools and, for my job. And I struggle when they do long ball or when somebody counter-attack and you're going to go, it's very hard as a human being to see everything. The game is too fast to have a man making a decision. Until there'll be a man making a decision, there'll be mistakes. And this year we saw so many with the handball. The handball has been a disaster. You never know which handball is what. We don't know the rule anymore because they made it so complicated. The degree, the angle. Come on. Just call a handball is a penalty or it's not a penalty. Just make it one call. All the handball a handball. Simple and easy. No one's going to whinge anymore. Doesn't matter if I pick my nose, cover my face, or look like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I think they have to do something. Otherwise, it's been ridiculous. We're here talking about a game where the team scored a goal and the referee blew the whistle super fast. There was nothing wrong to, like what they do for the offside. Remember now, no linesmen pick up the lines anymore. They wait for the PR. So what's the point to have the linesmen? Why pay for those two people to be on the line? We don't need them anymore.
Yeah, I don't think anyone will disagree.
Anthony, can I ask a question?
Of course you can.
How did you make it from Meazza back to Sydney in such a short time? Looking at the bottom of the picture there, you're celebrating.
Which one are you saying that looks like me, bro? Which one?
That's your doppelganger, mate. Like this, with his arms like this.
This one right here. No way.
Yeah, even the guy at the back looks similar to you.
Everywhere. Football
There's
worldwide.
a couple of you,
everywhere.
Andres, a couple of you in the picture.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
by
had
the
to have,
way,
I had to help
this
Inter
team
in some way.
here, this team here in the last months pick up 3 points at Napoli against Napoli and at Milan against Milan. Just to say.
Yeah, Motta's finally found a bit of form. They just might survive, albeit, like we've said in previous episodes, due to the context of some teams running out of luck, mooching off Serie A, like your Genoas and your Cagliaris, probably.
That's it.
Inter Atalanta, very entertaining 0-0 draw, as you'd expect, man. End-to-end sort of stuff. Coming from an Inter fan's point of view, after watching it live, I think we should have won the game because Iran Dzeko, and I'll go to Adam for this next, we've already known that he needs 30 chances a game to score one, but for God's sake, you need to score one of them at least, man. Like, he had a couple of headers on a silver platter. D'Ambrosio had a chance right at the end as well. To be honest, it was a game of amazing goalkeepers. The only player better on the pitch than Samir Handanovic was Juan Musso on the night. This save was just the tip of the iceberg. After watching the highlights back over and over again, Inter are just as lucky to get out of Bergamo with a point as Atalanta were to keep it at home. But overall, fantastic game between two good sides, and it felt like a draw. But this morning, it feels like a win after Milan slipped. So I'll go around the table. Any quick comments on this fixture? Adam, you first.
Yeah, look, as I mentioned off air, I think this was a really good game for the football aficionados. I mean, anyone outside will say, 0-0, no goals. It was probably boring, but this was probably one of the best 0-0 draws I've watched for a while. It was end-to-end, heaps and heaps of chances. I can't believe that there were no goals in this game. Firstly, it was, you're right, Anth, from a Romanista's point of view, watching Dzeko over the last 5 years, in a lot of those periods, it was quite frustrating because he just wouldn't put them away, the simplest of chances anyway. But yeah, he should have definitely had one. But look, super Samir Handanovic, I know you've been highly critical of him in the past, but he was absolutely brilliant against Atalanta. Two world-class saves at top shelf. And the bloke from an Atalanta point of view, I was really, really pleased to see Matteo Pessina back in the starting lineup. It's been a while since he's played, got some continuity in his form. So it was good to see him back. But yeah, really, really entertaining game from two really top level sides. I mean, if both I feel will finish in the top four. You know my views about who win the Scudetto, but I think Atalanta will be there or thereabouts come season end. Brilliant for Serie A too.
Francesco, did you manage to catch any of this fixture, and what did you make of it? I did. I think ever since Inter announced the Onana signing, this guy, he's just gone back to the old self. And I think Onana will be thinking, wow, I've got a tough job when I get there, because he's not playing that well in African AFCON. So, good job. Handanovic, you definitely saved you guys. But again, like you said, both keepers on form here. And I thought Atalanta were pretty poor. They weren't really as sharp as they usually are. But again, Inter probably tired from the Supercoppa. But that's just a sign of a champion team who just grind the result and keep marching towards the Scudetto. That's what they're going to do. They're going to probably over 10-point win this year, I reckon. If Napoli can keep up with them, it might be a bit close, but I think Inter's too strong.
Yeah, I'll reserve myself a bit more for a few more match days before I talk like that. Zil, did you happen to catch any of this game, mate? What did you think?
Yes, I should read the Napoli tweet because I agree with Napoli tweet. Actually, it was a very nice game. It could have been 3-0, could have been 3-0, it could have been 5-4 and finished 0-0 just because the goalkeeper and a bit of things. But what I want to say now, and going back to what I said to Cicc about Juventus being in fight for top four, they are about to sell Gonsen. Okay, they are about to sell Gonsen to Premier League immediately, not in June. That's a big loss. And also, what's it called, the team? Now I forget the name of the team that wants to buy them. What they call it?
Was it Newcastle?
Newcastle is pushing for either Bor and Zapata as well. And if Premier League teams come with money, I don't know if Atalanta will hold. So that what happened from now to the end of Mercato could change the whole structure of the top four. So I don't see Atalanta selling those three and replace those three with the big names.
Yeah, so fair enough.
Interesting. But it was a very nice game to watch.
It was.
So yeah, if they were to sell Zapata, they don't have much cover for him, do they?
Just Muriel, but it's not enough cover.
Yeah.
And Cicc, yeah, but he's not a pure striker. Funny image on the screen. We've got phone call, owner to owner. Lotito Salernitana versus Lazio. It was a pretty dead game, as you expect, with Milinkovic-Savic and Immobile playing out of their skin. 3 points for Lazio as they continue to occupy that position, staying on the Roman sides and finishing off what's been a very nice and efficient edition of the Serie A Roundtable. Goal on debut for the Portuguese compatriot as well of Jose Mourinho, Sergio Oliveira. A good game from him overall, Adam. I watched his extended highlights. He was everywhere. He had something to prove in his first game. And did I see Vertut? He's usually your penalty taker, isn't he? And he grabbed the ball and then handed it off to him as if to say, "Nah, you've got this for your moment." So I didn't catch the full game. I'm predicting Mazzarri versus Mourinho can only be good for a Roma fan to watch. How was it?
Yeah, look, Vertut thankfully handed the ball over because he's missed his last few, and he's down on confidence generally at the moment. Anyway, he only started the game because Pellegrini injured himself in the warm up, or else he wouldn't have played at all. But yeah, look, starting from the man on your screen, I didn't know much about him to be honest before we signed him. Then obviously did a little bit of research and knew about his performance against Juve in the Champions League. Yeah, I scratched my head a little bit because I wasn't sure why Porto would be so would easily relinquish this type of talent. But obviously he's had some sort of potential falling out with the coach there, and he hasn't played much this season, so it was the right time to move. And you got Thiago Pinto as our general manager and Mourinho as our coach, and it made sense to come to be lured by two Portuguese at our club. He shows a lot of personality on the field. You're going to enjoy watching him when you do get around to it. He's that type of player that sort of dictates the pace of the game. When you get the ball to him, he'll tell you the way the sort of speed that we're going to play at, which we haven't seen for a while at Roma, to be honest. Not since probably De Rossi was in the team. So yeah, he had a really good debut. I won't say it was exceptional, but considering he only arrived a few days before. It was really really good to see, and obviously he scored the goal. Generally, in terms of the game itself, a really underwhelming performance I thought from our boys, especially against a team that we probably should have put to the sword. Defensively and in the midfield, the structure was actually really good to watch. We set up really well. It was just going forward in that front third where we struggled a little bit. You've got so many chances in front of goal. We just feel like that we want to walk it into the back of the net and not just finish those chances. Opening up teams, especially Cagliari at will, and just finding it really hard to capitalise. So, look, moving forward, we've got 5 games in the next 4 weeks, I guess, that we probably should win on paper, but. We're talking about Roma, so anything can happen. We've got Empoli, Genoa, Sassuolo, Verona, and Spezia coming up. Yeah, so if we can do what we need to do and win all those games, and sort of when you revisit that in 4 to 5 weeks' time, the ladder for us could look a lot different. So, but I guess that's a really big bridge to cross before we get there for us anyway. So, Pellegrini's got to come back. Zaniolo's played okay, sort of starting to get back to form. And Tammy's, he's flying around under the radar a little bit because if you look at his stats, he scored as many goals as Jekyll. So, so I think he's certainly improving. And Spinazzola will start training soon. We don't know where he's going to come, how he's going to come back, but hopefully he gets back to some sort of form close to Euro form. That'll be great. We move forward. It was just good. It was just good to get 3 points, man. Like seriously,
that's what Mourinho said, man. That's what he said. It didn't matter if you won at 5-0 or 1-0. Just get the 3 points. Final questions of the roundtable. I'll go to Francesco first. Anything for Adam?
Adam, I noticed that Kumbulla started a game for a long time. How did he go? I think him and Mancini together are probably your best partnership in the back. Do you agree with that? And also Maitland-Niles, I saw he was at right back. How was the defence?
Yeah, look, the defence generally was good. Kumbula started the game because Smalling was out, but look, I've been critical of Kumbula this season, but I think Mourinho signalled him out for praise after the game. He was pretty solid. So, mate, if he makes me eat my words, then I'll be ecstatic because it just gives us an extra number at the back that we can rely on. But in this game, he was actually really good with Mancini next to him because Ibanez was out as well, suspended. Who's really out of form, so it was probably an opportune time for him to have a rest. But defensively we structured up really well, so it was good to see. So what was your other question, Chich?
Maitland-Niles, how did he go?
Well, Maitland-Niles, yeah. Look, another one that was given his debut a couple of days after arriving against Juve, just out of necessity because Karsdorp was out. But he looks a really good acquisition for us. He's strong. He's calm on the ball. He's precise. He's got pace about him to get around the back of the opposition left back. So look, from what I've seen so far, he's actually going to be pretty good for it if he can keep up his form. But all signs are positive at the moment. So maybe the Italian game suits him more than the Premier. I don't know, but he's slotted in really well for someone that's only been around for a week and a half and he's played 2 games.
Good stuff.
Definitely.
Amo, do you have any questions for Adam or any other comments for our final minute for the roundtable, my friend?
No. Just something completely out of Serie A. I was reading the interview of Song, going back to Dybala, Insigne, and all these players that just want more money. I was reading
Alex Song. You're talking about Alex Song, who went from Arsenal to Barcelona.
That he said that he didn't care that he not play, that he's happy because he spent his money. He's got a Louis Vuitton bag. He's got a yacht and a house. And that's revolting, But somebody that plays football to be a show off on Instagram, I don't know. It's not my football. I hope kids don't grow up try to become like him, because at the end of the day, when you start playing the game, it's because you want to play the game, because you want to buy a Rolex or a Ferrari. It's disgusting. And
it is, but he's just taking advantage of a big hole in the system, man. And Barcelona was punished for that more than any other club I've seen so far.
So it's just going back to what's happening to Juve with Dybala and Napoli with Insigne. There's no loyalty. These kids don't understand. It could be just said.
What he wrote, the great Roy Keane said about Jesse Lingard, he's paid £150,000 a week to be an Instagrammer. So that's more of a reflection of society, isn't it, today, than it is about football generally. That these kids coming through are just that's what they are. They're guys with a little bit of talent that are getting paid these astronomical wages.
They're void.
That's
of a
why
lot
they
of
don't
gratitude.
last. That's why they don't last. That's why I don't see another Messi, another Ronaldo, another Ibrahimovic. You name it, another Del Piero, another Totti. They're never gonna come because they don't have the mentality.
Fair enough. Francesco, it was a pleasure, my friend. Thanks for coming back on Football Worldwide to talk culture.
Thanks very much. Thanks, boys.
No worries. Adam, always a pleasure from the Olympico, man. Hold it down. Good stuff.
Thanks, boys, and hopefully see you guys again next week.
Absolutely. And thank you very much, Amo. Always a pleasure.
From Amo jail, 2 more days of isolation. Hello, world. Can't wait to be out and free.
Beautiful. And we'll see you guys again next week or whenever for more culture on Football Worldwide. Ciao, ragazzi.